everyone, welcome to my video all about the 22nd week of pregnancy. At 22 weeks pregnant, the baby is about 27.8 centimetres from head to toe, is about 15.2 ounces and about the size of a spaghetti squash, and I can't say I have any idea what a spaghetti squash is, so I'm clueless. So this week the baby has been getting a lot more wiggly again, and I feel like I'm saying this every week, is that the baby's getting more and more wiggly, and it's actually really sweet. They're beginning to get a complete personality now. Like they're very active right after I eat, and they're very active in the evening, which is actually pretty much exactly what my daughter was like, so it's so nice to see the similarities there. It's just lovely. So last week I was sat here talking to you guys all about my 20-week anatomy scan, which I'd had like during my 21st week of pregnancy, because I had kind of had it a bit later. So I was telling you guys all about that and about how everything was fine, and it still is fine. I'm going to reassure you that now. But on the Tuesday I got a call from my local maternity unit asking me to go in for another scan. And when they first called and they started talking about scans, I was like, oh no, what have they seen, what's gone wrong? But they said that it was because the sonographer that I'd had, because she was training, and I think I mentioned this in last week's videos that she had been training, but because where I live is quite quiet and it's not the busiest maternity unit in the world, they don't necessarily have a huge amount of opportunity to do their training. They don't necessarily have enough people to get everything done. So they called and said because they knew my baby was okay and in a good place, they wanted to have another look to see what was going on. And of course I said, absolutely, when can I be there? I'll be there whenever I can. So I got to go on Wednesday and have another scan for about an hour, and it was just lovely to see baby again. It was such a nice surprise. I was absolutely delighted. I felt very, very lucky and very privileged, because I got quite a few extra scans during my pregnancy with Poppy, but that's because my bump was quite small. So getting a bonus one just for like a reason where there's no concern, it's just for training purposes, was absolutely lovely. I don't know if I'll get any growth scans with this baby. It depends on how my bump grows. Say if it's similar to last time, they might not want to do a growth scan. If it's much bigger than it was last time, they might want to do a growth scan. Or if it's just a bit smaller, because my bump was so small and it stopped growing, and they were like, we need to keep an eye on this. But Poppy ended up being fine. But say because I don't know if I'm going to get all those extra scans this time, it'll be nice to it was nice to go ahead and do that. So yeah, in the scan they'd explained they explained to me that the baby has actually dropped right down into my pelvis and his head is on my cervix, which they're not concerned about, but that would explain all my hormones this week. I have been in tears most days and I've not really had much to cry about, but it's been very difficult, especially being quite tired, because Poppy's been having a sleep regression, which is just brilliant. That's a great thing to deal with when you're pregnant. So as I explained before, it's been an interesting week with my hormones. So I have been very hormonal, very emotional. As I mentioned, Poppy has been having a sleep regression, so I've equally been very tired, which hasn't helped the situation in the slightest. So I don't really... I hope that ends soon. I hope I get a bit less hormonal soon, but I don't see it happening because I'm just getting more and more pregnant. Only 18 weeks until my due date, which is frightening. I don't really think I have much else to tell you other than my skin's beginning to break out a bit more again, which is not exciting. Getting a couple of spots, and they always like right on my forehead too. It's just infuriating. I am so tired. This is going to be a pain to edit. So this is the 22-week bump. Baby in there. Still not managed to get the footage of the baby wiggling, but that's okay. Excuse the top, it doesn't fit very well, this green top. I just lift that up and I can lower that a bit and you can see just how bump is growing. I'm not actually doing too badly with stretch marks just now. I thought they'd get worse every week from now, but to be honest, like the ones I've got are maybe a little bit more defined, but I don't think there's any particularly new ones. So yeah, still doing quite well on bump front, and I'm proud of how bump is growing. Oddly flat at the front and really rounded at the sides. So thank you so much for watching today's video. If you like videos all about parenting and pregnancy, then you should definitely subscribe, because that's the content I release. If you liked this video, I'd be very grateful if you could give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. All these things really help the engagement of my channel and the growth of my channel, so it'd be much appreciated. And I will see you at the same place at the same time next week for my 23-week update. Bye!